It's that time to do a fig cutting rooting update. Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. Today is February 27th and we're going to do an update on these fig cuttings. Now what I'm doing is I've taken out, I have 13 fig cuttings. These are various dates that they started, but you can see roots. When I can see roots, that's when I'm going to uppot them. I'm not going to wait till this gets completely full. Now I did have a little bit of a problem, just like this one is kind of dry. Being these were on bottom heat, and I opened the top quite a while back, and I've been trying to monitor them, but hadn't been monitoring them good. And I have a few that possibly I might lose. They've dropped some leaves, kind of dried, but I'm going to go ahead and try to revive them. But anyway, what we're going to do, we've got some different varieties here. This is one of the Gino. This was a free variety I got. And this one was planted on January 26th. So, January 16th. So it's been about 41 days, roughly 42 days. We've got our LSU purple. You can see it's starting to put its roots out. This one here was started on the same day. Over here we've got, this is another Gino, and it's putting its roots out too, so you can see that. This here, you can see it. It's a Marcellus Black VS. This was started on January 13th. And the reason I'm telling you this, and it can vary with your setup, is how quick the roots come on. This one here is a Chicago Hardy, and it's just now putting some roots out there, so we're going to take care of it. And this one was on January 13th. We got roots right up here. This one is this is one of the SFA Dr. Creech's figs. And we got, this is a compost fig. This is one that I picked up from the compost place that I get my compost. And you can see this one's already rooting. And this one was only planted the 25th. So it's been about a month. Its roots are showing. This here is another SFA, and you can see it's putting its roots on. And this is another compost fig. You can see it's starting to put roots out. We've got a Black Madeira. It's rooting real well. This one was started on the 10th of January. And another Black Madeira that was, it's rooting out good. So I'm going to pot all these up. I'm probably going to wet these down just a little bit more so hopefully they'll pack together a little bit better when I pot them. But what I'm going to do is pot these into this pot. Now, we're going to pot them up so they'll have an inch or two on the bottom of here. But we're going to this 1 gallon pot because I want to be able to have room for them to root out. And at this point, we've got roots. We're going to start with some mild fertilizer. First, I'm just going to water them in because this potting mix I have has some slow release fertilizer, and I'll probably give them some fish emulsion. That way they'll have some nitrogen, and they'll have some extra nutrients to take care of that. So let me start this process. All right, we're just going to put some potting mix. Now make sure that your potting mix is kind of moist. Not necessarily that you add water, but make sure you can feel the moisture in it. You don't want to start out with dry potting mix. Now I always got my routine where I take and I like to just make my hole around my pot. So I'll just put potting mix in here until I get this kind of filled up. It's always served me pretty well. Sometimes, occasionally, the soil in the cup won't stay together, but usually it does pretty good. Probably the only time it won't do good is on camera. But anyway, we're going to do this. I'm filling this real full to the top. If I decide to water this and some of this comes out and it exposes a little more of this trunk, it's not going to hurt this plant at all. Okay, what I'm going to do, I've got this packed in around here, and so you can see it's going to make a nice little cup depression. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to push a little bit on the bottom of this cup. I'm going to take this out, I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to stick it into this hole. Just like that. I haven't disturbed any of the roots. I've got a good soil contact around it, and this thing's ready to go. Anyway, I'm going to do the rest that way. I can do one more so you can kind of watch this if you don't want to go back over the video. But and maybe one of them will mess up here, so we'll see. We better put this off in this pot. That's be a dire mistake. I already have one variety that's out in the greenhouse that when I dumped it out to check the roots one time, the tag fell out, or either the dog come along and got it. I know she was bad about that early on, and but I couldn't find it, and I don't know which one it is. Now, chances is, if it was one of my cadotas, then it'll be easy to tell from the others that's planted there because it's a green fig. But if it's not, if it's the brown turkey, then it looks a lot like my Texas everberry, so it might be hard to tell that one apart. I don't know if I haven't really looked to see if there was a leaf difference or not. But anyway, we're gonna do this again. We're just gonna do that down. We're gonna take that label out. We'll do a little, there we go. And we'll put it down in there and put a little bit of more around the top right there so it's good and planted. But now these, for a few more days, I'm going to keep these in my workshop. They'll get some light from my grow lights. But here in about a little over a week, I'll move these to the greenhouse. It's still cool out there, but they do have a good start on roots. They'll do better with natural light, and they'll be easier to keep water because I'm using this potting mix, which is really kind of coarse, so water goes through it, which is a good thing. It doesn't keep too much, but is a bad thing if you don't watch it. It's going to dry out, and then the roots will start air pruning like in some of my other figs that I've lost, and I don't want that to happen. So anyway, this is the update. You can see kind of how quick some of these are growing. There's still a lot more to root. They're getting a lot of leaves, but the roots hadn't quite got to the edge. Once they're in this situation, now they'll start growing like crazy because they'll have that extra room, they'll have some nutrients, and they'll be really good shape by the time it comes springtime, you know, after our last frost. Of course, these, I wouldn't worry too much about them, but I'm not trying to slow them down any. I want these to get really big really quick, and a lot of these varieties, they'll be setting figs this year. They'll really grow on. But anyway, if you want to keep updated on my videos on the propagations and some of my other ones, just hit that subscribe, hit the bell button so you'll be notified. And if you have any comments, well, please leave them below. Happy gardening.